Welcome back. After being thoroughly blown away by both the Last of Us game and the series, I started thinking about one thing: the end of the world. The Last of Us takes place in a world that has been ravaged by a deadly fungus parasite, leaving behind a society struggling to survive in a world that is overrun by infected creatures. It's a story that speaks to our modern day, post-pandemic, climate change, nuclear war, AI taking over fears, and the end of the world as we know it. But this concept is not new. All cultures at some point or another throughout their history have expressed their fears of the world coming to an end in their mythology. What's interesting to note is that some ancient cultures and their myths described a linear progression of time, with a definitive end to the world, like the Christian apocalypse or the Norse Ragnarok. However, for a lot of ancient Greek, including philosophers Plato and Aristotle, the world didn't end, but was cyclical, with Plato believing that survivors would always rebuild after a catastrophe. Many of the Stoics believed in ekpyrosis, the periodic destruction of the cosmos, which, according to Plato, was every 36,000 years, before a new cycle begins again. So instead of focusing on an end to humanity and the world, Greek mythology and philosophy spoke more of the gods and catastrophes of the past. In Hesiod's epic poem Works and Days, he separated the 5 periods of human history, its destruction and rebirth, 5 ages. 5 periods, the Golden, Silver, Bronze, Heroic, and Iron Ages, describe the progression of humankind through the lens of Greek mythology. First was the Golden Age, just after the deathless gods who dwell on Olympus made a golden race of mortal men, which, if you don't remember, you can watch my episode on Prometheus. Then came a second generation, which was of silver and less noble by far. Then came the Bronze Age, a third generation that was terrible and strong and keen on violence. The myth regarding the apocalyptic destruction of the Bronze Age humans seemed to have been sparked by Lycaon's action. Lycaon was a king of Arcadia who, in the most popular version of the myth, killed and cooked his son Nyctimus and served him to Zeus to see whether the god was sufficiently all-knowing to recognize human flesh. Disgusted, Zeus transformed Lycaon into a wolf and restored Nyctimus to life. In fact, Zeus was so enraged by Lycaon's hubris that he decided to end the Bronze Age with a flood. However, Prometheus warned his son Deucalion and his wife Pyrrha of the oncoming flood, and they proceeded to build a boat so they could save themselves. After 9 days, the flood was over, and Deucalion and Pyrrha landed on a mountain. After giving thanks to Zeus for his mercy, they were tasked with recreating humanity. They were told to cover their heads and throw the bones of their mother behind their shoulder. Deucalion and Pyrrha understood that mother was Gaia, the mother of all living things, and the bones to be rocks. They threw the rocks behind their shoulders, and the stones turned into people. Pyrrha's became women, and Deucalion's became men. The first rock Deucalion threw behind his back became Helen, the first king and after whom our nation was named. In Greece, we call our country Hellas, and its inhabitants Hellenes and Hellenides. Zeus intended for this new age of humanity to be a godlike race of hero men, when most Greek mythological heroes, including Perseus, Odysseus, and Achilles, supposedly lived. Hesiod lamented that he hadn't been born in the age of heroes, but in the next age. He said, "For now truly is a race of iron, and men never rest from labor and sorrow by day, and from perishing by night, and the gods shall lay trouble upon them." Hesiod believed that this bitter and cold-hearted age would be the last. Hesiod goes into more detail about this age, seeing it as a time when evildoers get praise for their violent deeds. Hesiod's sentiment reflects our modern worries and fears, really. Gone are the days of heroes and their stories of sacrifice and survival against monsters. Now we just labor endlessly as we watch the world sink in deeper, unknown trouble, which may foretell the end of the world. Wow, that got dark very quickly. This is human nature, though. We're able to imagine a future, and we worry endlessly about where our mistakes will lead us. The end of the world myths have been replaced in recent years by a few movies that deal with the end of the world in one way or another. But let's see a few of them. There. Oh, that's a good one. I was in that one. Oh my. Oh, it's still going? Alright. Okay, wow, alright. So they were a lot more than I thought. But back to The Last of Us. One of the main themes of The Last of Us is the idea that love and human connection can survive even in the bleakest of circumstances. Overall, The Last of Us is a powerful story about the human spirit, the bonds that connect us, and the difficult choices we must make in the face of unimaginable hardship. Whatever destructive forces have and will come for us, our existence is not linear. Much like the ancient Greeks believed, it is cyclical. Whatever is to come, we will always band together and rebuild our world. Thanks for watching this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories from the world of ancient Greek mythology.